Hi, I'm Steve Pokorny. I'm the founder of Freedom Coaching, and I want to introduce you to something that I've been involved with for about 10 years now, and it's called Men's Counsel. So I know that in my life that I've needed other brothers in my life to help me to stay accountable to being who I should be, right? And accountability is a really huge thing. And I think this is a hard thing for some men because we have been programmed by the James Bond philosophy, perhaps, of go out on my own, go conquer the world. I can do this all by myself. But we were never meant to go it alone. We were always meant to be involved with others. It's the whole notion of no man is an island, right? Very important. So we gather and we gain skills. We skill up in the presence of other brothers. And some of those who are watching this are married, right? And yes, your wife can enhance your life in many, many ways, share beautiful things with you, but she cannot help you to be a man itself. She can't form you as the man you're supposed to be. She can help to, evoke it in a certain sense because that's what true femininity does. But you need other brothers to help to evoke other masculine characteristics and other qualities that are going to come out in a good way. So long story short, about 10 years ago, had an urging to, want to build men's fellowship, want to grow this. So a good friend of mine by the name of Eli Danzy, he and I, we sat down and kind of mapped out a little bit of what our goals, what do we want to do? And so we called it, and came to the conclusion, the term of our group was St. Joseph's Men's Counsel. And that's Counsel, meaning we are taking on the counsel of St. Joseph. And the Psalms talk about one of the Psalms that we are gathering together in counsel. Come, let us gather together in counsel. Let us confer together. Let us grow as brothers in unity. Really important. And so we're taking on his wisdom, the wisdom of St. Joseph, the most manliest man of all time, because he had to raise God. He had to raise Jesus Christ. Man, the kind of grace that he needed. And he was an ordinary human being given great grace. And the same thing is to us. Any of us who are baptized, if we're Catholic, we're baptized and confirmed. We have great grace, and there's the expectation we're supposed to do something very good with that, right? And so just as one man, one sword sharpens another, so we need other men in our lives to sharpen our swords, right? So very important. So what we've done, we come together on a weekday morning, okay? And we say weekday morning because evening time is family time. Saturday mornings typically are going to be family time. So we've found for our sweet spot, it's been Friday mornings. So kind of our week begins on Friday morning. And what we do is we'll meet from 6:15 a.m. to 8 a.m. And there's a format that we'll follow. We do this pretty much every week. So we'll start off with kind of an opening prayer. We like to do Liturgy of the Hours, the morning prayer there. And right before you get to the Our Father, we do extemporaneous prayer. There's something about opening up one's heart, opening up and unveiling your heart to another that is really, really powerful. And we have found that in our men's council, other groups have grown tremendously, or other members of our group have grown tremendously in this extemporaneous prayer of sharing their heart, because we can get caught up, and there's nothing wrong per se by the rote prayers, the Our Father, Hail Mary, Glory Be. So those are important prayers, but there's something to sharing from the heart, right? And especially bearing that in the presence of other men, to be spiritually naked in front of other men. That takes sometimes courage, but also it allows others into your world. And I think with the proliferation of pornography, with many men just involved in their devices, or too involved in sports or jobs or whatever, we're not really taking time for reflection. And this is critically important for our own growth as men. So part of that aspect is that of that individual prayer, right? And that deep, intimate sharing of prayer. We'll finish our prayer. We have some prayers that go along with our own counsel. So you might find some prayers that will be specific to your counsel, and that's totally a great thing. And then from there, we share our five. And our five are specifically issues or an area of growth, personal growth, area of family growth, And because our counsel is specific to marriage and family life, that's where this next one comes in, date night, which is the hardest one on there, because if you want to divorce proof your marriage, never stop dating. Just make sure you only date one person, your spouse. So every day, every week, committing to doing some sort of date night. Don't have to spend any money, or spend little money, right? Go for a walk, push each other on the swings, not off the swings, right? Something intimate and intentional. And that should not be that of going on just watching a movie together all the time. Sometimes we need to do that, and that's fine. But all the time, it should be a time of deep, intimate sharing, of getting to know your spouse, because you didn't get married for the house or the kids. You got married for each other to grow together. Fourth is going to be an act of courage, or an area, a virtue that we want to work on. We want to develop those skills in there. And then the last piece is going to be something to pray for. Okay, something we can pray for that week. And going back here is the active area of growth. So these are things actively that we should be working on, right? I like to say, something we might want to do. We might want to get to 50 or 60 push-ups, right? We want to read more. I want to write more. I want to develop a sales skill if I'm in the field of sales. Whatever that is that I need to be challenged in this week to come out of me, right? Something that I want to grow in. And then there's family things. So maybe it's praying a rosary together as a family. Maybe it's I got to put together a clubhouse at my house. Maybe, there's things I need to do around the house, or we're going to go camping. Things as a family in there. Really, really important there. So obviously we're moving forward, because again, remember, there's no stagnation in the spiritual life. We're either moving forward or back. And one more thing about the area of courage, or an act of courage, is the fact that this might be like maybe a conversation that you were meant to have at your job, right? Somebody one of your coworkers kind of doing something that's not good, right? You need just to speak to them. Or maybe it's a brother you haven't talked to in a long while. You need to pick up the phone. There's lots of things, especially in the pervasive anti-Christian, anti-Catholic culture, that we're being called to stand in the gap, to not be afraid to say something. We don't have to do it unlovingly, uncharitably, but we do need to speak, and we do need to act, right? So it might be going to Planned Parenthood to witness. It might be going to a pornography, shop, a strip joint, to witness outside there for purity. Obviously, bring other brothers there to witness for love there. Just an idea. So what are the things I'm maybe being challenged for? So those are our 5. So typically, we'll do our previous 5 the previous week. We're checking in, and then immediately afterwards, we're doing what are the next 5. And this is what's a really important point. This needs to be a report. So however many you've got in your men's council, you're simply taking 1 minute for checking the last part, and then 1 minute, maybe take a couple minutes to kind of jot down together. All right, everybody take another couple minutes to jot down your 5. And then what are you going to do? Everybody gives a report in 1 minute, okay? Because this isn't the time for really deep sharing on things. That'll come next. And what we want to call this are our wins. So basically, around about 10 minutes after that, because the first part of prayer is going to take you probably 20, 30 minutes, sometimes longer, right? What's on the heart there. And then you're going to the 5. It's about 1 minute. Take 3 or 4 minutes to create the next one, then 1 minute. So it's about, let's say, 5 or 6 minutes. It's about 10 or 15 minutes, everybody sharing. And then wins for the week. So this is where we open up. We share kind of good things that, we've noticed from our reports that we want to share with others, to encourage things that have, things we've learned, other elements like that can be very, very helpful. Because how many of us typically are intentionally sharing our heart? And I think this is hard for a lot of guys, especially emotionally, when we're emotionally disconnected, or that's some of our programming. This is really important. So again, bearing our hearts and our souls to other men. We can lean on them, and they can lean on us. That creates brotherhood. Then from there is you want to get some sort of book for formation. Over the years, we've had lots of books. Father Larry Richards, Be a Man, The Book of Man by, I don't have it up here on my bookshelf. It might be in that bookshelf behind me. I'm totally blanking on his name. We're also reading one called The 3 Marks of Manhood by G.C. Dillsaver. Really, really powerful, really potent. So lots of options. So basically take, 20 minutes for reading there, formation, pass the book around, everybody get a copy, or if you ask it one, you're sharing it, but about 10 to 15 to 20 minutes of reading through that. And then let's do some discussion on that. So some formation, because if we're not growing as men, as the men after Christ's heart, we're wasting our time. And this certainly becomes just merely a boys' club, and we don't want that to be there. And then after that's done, right, after we kind of close down, somebody gets the last thought, then end with a divine mercy chaplet, right? We want to pray for mercy for our world, especially that's greatly in need of this. So bring this in there. And then that's basically our weekly meeting. That's what we'll meet, our men's council meeting. And this has helped to fosters a lot of unity. Many of us have actually done Exodus 90 from this perspective. And then we also have a text messaging thread sharing different things, right? Some laughs, but also some serious things so we can pray for each other. Really important. Now, the other aspect that is really unique to the men's council format that we've done is once a month. Again, it's been weird because of the C-19 pandemic, has been that of the families getting together. Once a month, we host a potluck. Okay, so somebody hosts it at their home. And so when things can open up, come together, and the family that hosts that prepares the main meal, but then it's potluck. Everybody brings things there. And gentlemen, it's not your wife who's the one who's going to prepare the meal. It's you. You have to prepare the meal because you're the one to serve it. So it should be a time she's like, all right, men's council potluck, awesome, not too much work. You're going to have the house cleaned, get things ready, prepare the meal so things can people can serve it. Prefer on Saturday night, so typically if it's not Lent, you can eat meat, and it really just fosters the idea that this is a communal thing. Because again, if it's just a boys' club, then it's simply about us, and that's not what it should be at all. It needs to be about for all of us. And so when families get together, this starts to grow relationships. And again, if we're thinking future vocations, this could be a place, not intentionally, but it could be a place to foster maybe vocations for our kids will come in. You know, you have a son, your friends have it, one of your men's council guys has a daughter. The two of them, they hit it off eventually, and perhaps that can grow here. And they have had this great example of what does masculinity look like? What does marriage and family life look like? And it's been in joy and suffering and growing together. And at those potlucks, we come together, we pray. You might want to pray a rosary or pray a divine mercy chaplet, something that's going to help to draw us together in the faith. But it is time for fellowship, to grow and just to talk, to be families can be a beautiful thing. And then the last piece here, ideally it's once a year, go on retreat together as men. Maybe take 3-4 days, obviously permission from your wife, the wives, to be able to go off to, develop different skills. Maybe go out in the wilderness. Let's go backpacking. Let's develop some manly skills here, right? Maybe tying knots, maybe orienteering, maybe learning self-defense, different things that can help to draw out our masculinity, so that when we come back from that time, we are radically engaged with our families, helping them to become more of who they're called to be because we've been sharpened by our brothers. So I encourage you to take a look at, listen through this, share this with other men make some comments below on this video, how you might be able to increase your own growth in your men's council, and looking forward to hearing what you come up with. And one last part is a good friend of mine, he started his own council in Florida. I'm in San Antonio, and found that in that group, these were guys that started coming. They weren't even praying, and now they're praying about 20 minutes a day. This is a huge deal, and how pleased is the father in seeing his sons come to him. Right, this is a really awesome thing. So you, just by sharing this video, right, you might very well help to change the lives of other men who are in great need of growing in virtue. And then one last point here, forgot to make, is because our council is devoted towards marriage and family life. So if maybe you're a single guy and you want to join and grow with other single guys. So you can take that 5 and it can be an area of personal growth, area of family growth, because you're connected still to your family of origin. How can I maybe stay connected with my siblings or my father and mother? And then you change, date night changes over to, that's where the act of courage would be. Then the 4th would be an area of virtue, and then something we can pray for. It's a very simple change there. But if you are single and you're pretty serious about marriage, then I would be seeking out dates, going out ways, introducing yourself to women so that you can establish the vocation that God has called you to. Okay, so just some thoughts there. And I look forward to hearing your comments place them below.